Nothing worse than doing a spiel of conversation to a camera only to realise that you haven't hit record. Call it dotery age syndrome, you know. Anyway, I'm going to today do a loop that I normally have a loop that's 10 miles. It's actually a double loop and it tends to go in a figure eight and come back on itself. It's about 10 miles. But today I want to do a comparison with the electric bike and the non-electric bike. So I'm going to take the non-electric bike first. I'm going to slightly extend the route so that I can cover about 5 miles. I'm only going to film myself on the hills. And then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to take the electric bike out. I'm going to do the exactly same loop. I'm not going to do the figure eight and come back on myself because I want to be like for like. So it's just a chance to do a little bit of comparison on the two bikes, see how they are. Now, I'm not an unfit person. I've done a lot of running in my life and long distance running too. I've done a lot of cycling. So I'll take the gravel bike out and I shouldn't really find it too difficult. It shouldn't be the end of the world, but you know, you've got to work it out on the hills. It'll be interesting to compare it with this. I might slice the sections back to back, so if I do a hill up Link Road on the normal bike, I might then cut in the Link Road on the electric bike. So it's kind of like for like. There'll maybe be 3 sections that I film, just so that I don't want the video to be going on and me cycling along and you have to put up all that. I just want to catch the key moments and then maybe do a summary at the end of what I think. Let's see how we go, and hopefully it's an interesting test. Here we go. Right, so we're going to take the gravel bike, this one here. I'll find out the weight comparisons for both and put that into the video because I think that would be interesting. This is a gravel bike, it's a great bike. I've had it a couple of years now. Unfortunately, it's the one that I broke my collarbone on. That's a story for another day. But anyway, I'm going to check the tyres, make sure they're okay, get going. I don't want to waste the battery. I'll get this back on at the appropriate time. Right, bye bye for now. Okay. We're at the sort of first hill. I've normally got my cycling shoes with cleats on them on this bike because I've got my trainers on, and the electric bike doesn't have the cleats. I realised that I had my trainers on. So coming down the hill I got into the highest gear, biggest cog, able to come down the hill at about 25 miles an hour. Here I've got it on the middle ring at the front, and I'll stay on the middle ring. I don't use the granny gears normally, and make my climb up this steady hill. So this will be the first comparison. So at the moment, this is not difficult. Just got to keep plugging away, keep the legs going round. I've got to say that this gravel bike is a brilliant bike. It really is a great all-rounder. You can train with it, you can tour with it, travel anywhere with it really. It is the ultimate touring bike, to be honest with you. It's got 29 gears, 3 cogs at the front, 9 at the back. But of course, I live most of my life on the middle cog at the front because I don't really need all the other gears. And that brings in the argument about the 8-speed Shimano hub along with the electrical assist. Now at the moment I'm sort of in the middle of the rear cog, probably in about the 5th gear. Now until I move about the 4th. And I'm starting to feel like getting tight on my legs, but I could change gear, but I'm kind of just plugging in there. Not out of breath, nothing much. Only fact I'm talking shows that I'm okay. And that's the hill kind of climbed. Of course, the camera never really shows the incline very well. It's quite a steady one, that one. So I'm going to get round the corner, turn the camera off, and it'll be a little bit till we get to the next one, and I'll take you through that. But that wasn't too bad. Yeah, I like to say, that's always, you know, the gears on manual bikes nowadays are absolutely fantastic. They really do allow you to cycle all kinds of hills with quite a lot of ease. And again, I'm going up an incline here. You can see the camera's shaking quite a lot, sadly. This just shows you the quality of the roads. Right, I'm going to pull over here, turn the camera off, trying to see if I can get all this in one bar and go. That wasn't too bad. Easy enough. Okay. Right, here we go. Right. And what I have noticed is that downhill you definitely kind of work harder, because you know, above 15.5 miles an hour there's no assist, so you're kind of cycling the weight of the bike. There's a substantial difference in the weight then. But downhill I was still managing roughly about 25 mile an hour, maybe just under it. So gearing wise it's great, because I don't need to go any faster than that. I'm quite happy getting down a hill at that speed. That part of it has been good. Comfort's been good so far. But let's see how we get on. So you can hear the electric motor. Like I say, I've got it in the middle setting. The thing I've got to get used to with this bike is the gear hub change. It's not like a derailleur where you have to keep pedalling to change gear. You're actually better backing off the pedalling. You can slow the pedalling down, but I think actually, because you've got the electric assist, it's not like you've got to pick the gear back up again and really work that hard. So just stop pedalling, get it in the gear. Probably in a gear that's slightly too high. So it'd be handy to actually have the speeds recorded. Now, the stability on this bike is definitely slightly more compromised than a conventional road bike. I think that's because of the design and the weight aspect. So there I go, changing down a gear, doing about 11 mile an hour, which I have to be honest is definitely probably faster than I would do it on a normal bike. I think I still feel that though you're getting the assist, it's making it fairly easy. I'm still, you know, I'm not breathing 100% normal. So there's definitely an element of a workout going on there. But
brakes on this are fantastic. The fluid hydraulic brakes. So it's deceptive, I think, to how much faster you go. Pull over here, camera on for now. Okay, so there's a slight sort of hill climb here. It's not, well, it's quite steep. Now, I have used the high gears to get speed up on the hills. Gone between sort of 20-25 mile an hour, and that's not me going mental, but using the gears and pedaling fairly regular. Hopefully I can keep the camera on now, right through this next section, which is me going up these hills. Again, I'm on the middle plug in the front, and about the same gear as I was when we did the last hill. Again, not really difficult task. 3.6 miles I've done. Now, this is where I think the manual bike the electric bike, and that will be these downhills. This is quite a comfortable bike. It's, I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm interested to see how much the GoPro Hero 9 can, stabilise the picture. Yeah, there are all these cars on the road. First of all, he's driving far too fast. He's doing about 40 and a 30. I know I'm going to talk, having had 3 points last year for riding my bike like that. I'm doing a 43 and a 30 average speed camera section. It's really annoying, but anyway though, I'm certainly winging it on there and impatient. And that's what you've got to compete with when you're cycling on the road. And I do try to stick to the cycle paths as much as I can. It's not always feasible. That's why I quite like this loop I've got, because it's fairly civilised. So that was a bit of an incline again. Now we're going downhill. About 15 mile an hour. Turning left here. I'm just going to leave it in the middle cog. Getting up to 21, 22 mile an hour, 23, 25. Start the climb. It's quite a steep one, but I'm still in the middle cog at the front. So no granny gears. Certainly miss not having my cleats. They certainly help to give you a bit of pull and push. I think with the electric bike I'll probably still get cleats put on, and then I can continue to cycle. With my cycling shoes, I do like the cleat system. So we're 4.4 miles, and I came up there relatively well. Not too badly out of breath at all. Right, so I'm going to turn the camera off. 2 sections we'll be filming then. Here we go again. I have found it very, very pleasant doing what, 13 mile an hour up here. I'm starting to strain with the gear a bit. Drop it down. And you can hear the motor kicking in. You know what I found it with the downhills, you are working a bit harder with your legs. I think that's why I felt it so much when I cycled back that 19 miles to Edinburgh. I was pushing it quite a lot. I think the downhill sections were making me work harder, pulling the extra weight. But speed wise, I managed to match everything more or less to what I can do with my gravel bike. The long straight I came along from the tip in Dalgety Bay, and I easily managed to do that at the same sort of speeds. So this 25 mile an hour, the top gear on this is perfect. There's 26. Cannot complain about that at all. Gear change is really good as long as you just remember to ease off the pedalling. Does it really well. And like I say, because you've got the electric, you know, you're not losing much momentum, because the minute you start pedalling again, you've got that little bit of assist, and this bike will assist you up to 15.5 miles per hour. After that you're on your own. Very comfortable. I'd say I've been very comfortable on this bike. It's a nice seat. It's a different riding style. I've been used to racers and mountain bikes and, you know, my gravel bike. I've been used to those kind of things. Okay, so we're in top gear again. We're way up. At this point, you almost feel like you're still getting assistance, but you can't be. You can't hear the motor. So let's click it down, get working. So I can hear the motor now, helping out. This is quite a good climb. That was really quite easy, no problem. I've enjoyed that. I really do like the single hub. Right, so I decided to do a little bit of extra section. Done 5.5 miles so far on the gravel bike. And I realised that I've been talking about having 3 rings on the front of my bike, and I've only got 2. So I've actually only got 18 gears. So it just shows you how much I use the front sprocket. I only tend to use it for going downhill. And normally I've got a bit of momentum going up here. Because I've come round the roundabout, a bit of sort of bit of power behind me, and I can usually bolster up this first section quite quickly. But today I stopped, put the camera on. So I've done 5.5 miles, and this is kind of a nice steady long climb. It's not too taxing, but it's continual. We're more or less always going uphill. Again, I can stay in the sweet spot of the gears. So, why did I buy an electric bike when I think it's obvious that I don't need one? I'm still doing a cycling conventional bike quite happily, and can do the hills quite easily. So I'm not ready for an electric bike. I do get my bus pass this year. Maybe that's got something to do with it. But anyway, I just thought that it was something I would always entertain. But I've always had a real interest in hub gears and belt drives. And even when I was buying this bike a few years back, I was looking then at a hub gear system, just because the derailleur it's quite a crude system. It's great, it's worked for over 100 years, but it does take a bit of maintenance. There's no surprise when you consider you're dragging a chain across gears like that, and the derailleur gets quite a hard life. But that enclosed hub gear system just makes life a bit simpler, and because, like I say, I tend to always just use the same range of gears. I don't quite often use the sort of higher gears unless I'm going downhill, and then, you know, my legs are going willy-nilly, and I can obviously get a gear that will allow me to keep pedalling. And that's where the electric bike will probably fall down. That's probably where the gear range might let it down a bit, because it is 8-speed. But we will find out, and there might not be much in it. But you can see that at the moment I'm having a steady climb. I'm not wheezing like an old man, at least I don't think I am. And I'm managing to have a conversation. So, all in all, pretty good on the manual bike. But going back to the electric bike, I was just, as Christmas as you do, going over the websites and I saw that Halfords had a half price sale on the electric bikes, and that got me looking at them. And then my partner sent me a link, and that led me to the Evans cycles and the massive sale they were having. And the bike I bought was, you know, its normal price was £3,600 when it first came out. There were some dealers who were selling it for maybe £1 grand less as time went on, but I got 70% of that price, to maybe about £1,350. Now it's still a lot of money, but I paid more for this bike than what I paid for that. So it just seemed like a fine time to dabble. And the fact that it had the gear hub, the enclosed hub and the belt drive, that was the sealer for me, because that was technology that I was dying to try. The fact that it had a little bit of electrical assistance was a bonus. And later on, I might be really glad of it. I've had issues with my knees through all the running, I think, and also a situation that I have at the moment that's been treated. But at the moment, my knees are doing well. The resurfacing this road, it's been an absolute nightmare to cycle on for a few years now. The resurfacing it, they're just in the middle of it. That's why it's as awful as it is right now. So anyway, we're nearly back at the house. We're ready to do the electric bike. We've done 6.38 miles. I would imagine by the time I get to the house, we'll be past the 6.5 mark. And then we'll get the electric one sorted, get that next. A little bit of an incline here. It's quite a steep wee hill that hits you all of a sudden. But again, I've licked it, and that was easy. And that's what it's like cycling for me. I don't find it too difficult. The gears from here are a great spread, and of course the low gears are aided by the electric assistance, so that makes a huge difference. I'm just going to keep the camera going. I think I've got enough battery to see us through. Save me stopping and switching off. Now, I did read a review on this bike. This is a Como SL5 Specialized, and someone did say it's a pity for the money that it didn't have some front suspension. And I do feel that the front suspension would have been a good addition. There are big tyres on this, but you know, the roads can be quite brutal at times, and the extra cushion would be handy. But this is really fantastic. I can't describe. You know, I cycled with a gravel bike and it felt great, and I was thinking to myself, why did I buy the electric bike? I don't really need it. But I've got to say that this is fantastic. This really is. Comfortable, going along at a decent pace, really enjoyable. And yes, could I go out on this for the day? A good trip, because you can get, it's got a rack on the back. You can, you know, put a rucksack on that front carrier, or put the basket back in if you want, if it doesn't bother you. For me, it just kind of stamped it as a girl's bike, and I know that's terrible for me to be worried about that, but you know, you don't need people laughing at you. So say let myself down and let it bother me, but I feel better with all, feel less that people expect me to be like flowers. But so far it's been great, and this would be a great bike for anybody who wants to just commute, who wants to go to their work, who just wants to exercise. If you're older, feel you need a bit of help in your knees. I'm doing 23 mile an hour right now. I'm not doing any pedaling now. It's easy. The weight also does help it go downhill. The gearing's what's really important. It's just important that you get the gearing right. That's what makes the difference. Roads look a bit dodgy, so So we shouldn't really be having any electrical assist right now, but I do feel there's a little bit there. Doing 16 mile an hour, of course that's an estimate, maybe it's round about that speed. Now I have got the advantage this time that I didn't stop, kept the camera going. Down the gear. Because you just feel that if you get to the point where you're straining, it's just time to change down, even though you think I'll keep pushing, get electric assist. So I can feel it in my legs right now. It's not like I'm getting off scot-free. Maybe the whole cycling posture is different, and that's why I'm feeling it in my legs, especially my upper legs. When I came back from Edinburgh last week and I'd done 19 miles, the top of my legs were really sore. And then I did a 4.5 mile cross-country run the next morning in a race, and it was in mud and hills, and I was definitely knackered at the end of that. But I couldn't quite understand why I was so sore riding an e-bike, you know. I think because I am a cyclist, because I can motor on reasonably well, I was probably pushing this bike a lot harder than you would normally. So, you know, someone who might buy an e-bike might not, you know, might be newer to cycling or returning to cycling, and maybe not as fit, and just going to cycle it, you know, sort of, I don't want to say beginner pace, but take it easy basically. And I probably wasn't. I was also trying to escape the darkness. Edinburgh is, with the shop, like I say, is about 19 miles away. It was quite a trip to get out of the city and get home, find the cycle pass. But so I was pushed a bit, you know, and I think that even though it's an e-bike, I still had to put a bit of work into it, especially going downhill. And I think because I was pushing it beyond the sort of 15-16 mile an hour mark, that was really propelling the bike with my weight, my strength. That's why it was just a bit heavier. I was pulling a bit more weight. Very easy to now just pep this up. I almost feel like there's another pair of legs behind me. It's almost like I'm on a tandem and I'm just getting a little bit extra help. But it's good. I'm still exercising. I still feel I'm a little bit out of breath, not much, but a little bit. I do feel that speed hub, it's just so easy to live with. It's just really lovely. I'm going to extend my night because I'm going to go to the library, pick up a book, and then head back home. So I'm not quite going to do the same route, just to the end I'm not doing, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to cut across, get to the library. But I will say that I will give this bike full marks for how good that was. I mean, this is a route that I do day in, and day out, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant on this bike. It just makes it very civilised. And I went to blow the tyres up on my gravel bike, and instantly I got oil in my hand doing the back wheel. Not a concern with this. Now don't get me wrong, this has got, you know, it's still got a limited function. Considering touring on a bike like this. I think I'd still take my touring bike just because of the battery anxiety, and if you didn't have the battery you'd be in a little bit of trouble, because it is a heavy bike. Thank you. Nice to be nice. As I say, I always give priority to pedestrians, as you should. You can hear the motor now. It's so civilised. Turn this off. That's it. That was great. Brilliant. Really enjoyed that. I'll talk about it more when I get back. Bye for now. Well, hopefully you can see me okay. That's that done. A wee bit further on the electric bike because I went to the library, which actually shut at 2 o'clock, so I missed that chance. Overall, I thought that was great, absolutely brilliant, really pleased with it. It's, you know, it's an amazing difference to the feel of your cycling. It's difficult to explain. It's just makes it, you know, it makes it that little bit more enjoyable. I don't know why. I think because you're getting a little bit of help and you're not quite maybe draining so much on the hills. Not that I struggle with the hills. I think you can tell that by the first cycle that it wasn't a problem for me. But it's just, I don't know, you just tend to progress along quite smoothly, and the bike's very comfortable. It's got really big tyres. I don't think they're very grippy. If you go in the grass, it feels like you're ready to have some fun. But I've got to say, you know, the battery's still got a lot of charge in it. And that's been maybe about 7 miles I've done. I'm pleased. I'm really pleased with the bike. I think it's a great addition to my, you know, it's all about the miles. I think it definitely is. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun exploring on this bike. I think that's where it's going to be great, is when you want to go away in the countryside and up the hills and away somewhere where maybe a sort of a 30-mile radius, which should, you know, the battery should manage that no problem. Especially with the amount of pedalling that I can still do. It'd be interesting to see how far I can get with the bike without running out of battery. I do have the extender for it, which wasn't cheap, but I do have that to bolt on to the cage if I need it. But no, I've got to say that I am absolutely tickled pink with the bike. It really is. It's a totally... Cycling at home last weekend was kind of a bit sort of anxious about getting home and getting out of Edinburgh, but having it on my normal loop today, really enjoyable. It's certainly the second loop. Normally on a conventional bike, I'd probably be quite glad. I'd feel as if I've done, you know, the 10 plus miles. The second loop there, which was about 7 miles, you know, I felt fairly strong, and I could have done more. And I think that's the difference with an electric bike, is you probably can go further and enjoy it more without getting quite as tired. Does it cheat? Does it take away the exercise element? No. I think that the way I cycle, certainly going down the hills, I felt I had to work
a lot harder going down the hills than I did on a gravel bike. Yes, it's a bit easier on the hills. Yes, you get a bit of assist, but you've still got to pedal. I don't think I was, you know, totally not feeling it. I think in my breath you could tell there's a little bit of work going on there. So is it cheating? I don't really think so. And I think that, you know, I've had a lifetime of cycling, and I think that if you're the type of person that wants to cycle, you're a little bit anxious about, you know, getting up the hills and so forth. This is a great way to get into cycling again. A great way. And if you're, you know, getting older in your years and you're trying to look after your knees and all those kind of things, absolutely fantastic. And the thing about this bike is you could carry a load on this bike. That's where it would really score if you're going out for the day and putting your bags on the back and getting your camera and, you know, maybe putting a rucksack on the front here. You could go out for the day and have a great trip, great touring trip, take a picnic with you. Brakes on it are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Belt drive, it's absolutely silent. Completely different experience to the derailleurs. Gear change, you know, you've got to really back off. I think the best bit is to stop the pedalling and change the gear, or at least ease off. And once you sort of remember to do that, I found the gears to work really quite well. When I first went out on it, I still had it in my head I was on my gravel bike and I was maybe pushing too hard when I was changing gear. Thumbs up, let's just keep going with it and see how we get on. I'll cut the two bits of video together tonight, and hopefully you can sort of judge for yourself. I'll be able to judge for myself watching it, I think, or hearing how I'm doing. But Como SL5, you know, at £3,600, wow, I would never have spent that on a bike. It seems a lot of money for a push bike. You can, as someone said on a forum, you could buy a car, you could buy a motorbike for that kind of money. But getting it at the 70% discount, I'm really glad I took the opportunity, and really glad that I get the chance to enjoy the hub gears and the belt drive. And I really do like the simplicity of just having those 8 speeds, and you just go in whatever gear you need to go in, and you're not chopping and changing front cogs. I just really love that simplicity, and you know, I could see myself doing a bit of touring on this bike. Maybe not heavy touring, but going out for the day and enjoying a bit of fun. You know, touring on an electric bike, that's probably another subject, isn't it? Is it possible? Could you do it? You are reliant on, you know, mapping things out and making sure you can get things charged up. But you know what? I really, really like this bike. I really do like it. It's really heavy duty. Yeah, Specialized Como SL5, thumbs up for me so far. Entry into electric bike world, thumbs up. I never expected it to be quite as good as it is, quite as enjoyable as it is. But anyway, I'm going to sign off there, and we'll, well, maybe the weather is beginning to turn, or should I say the year is beginning to turn. We're heading towards spring, and hopefully we'll start getting out on the bikes. But bit of work to do on the VFR. I've already started mapping out what I'm doing with it. But anyway, I'll say goodbye for now. Enjoy your weekend. Catch you again. Bye.